Today I'm reviewing the MINISFORUM UM880 Plus Mini PC with an AMD Ryzen 7 8845HS, 32GB of RAM, and a 1TB SSD. If you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've been using this unit as a daily desk machine for several weeks: general work, multi-tab browsing, coding, lightweight image editing, some 4K video playback, and desktop apps running in the background. What follows is grounded in real-world behavior, not just spec sheets. Let's set expectations early. This is not a gaming powerhouse, and it's not a full desktop replacement for heavy creative workloads like prolonged 4K editing with complex timelines or professional 3D rendering. It's a compact general-purpose system with surprisingly broad capability for its size. That said, in practical use it feels responsive and capable. The Ryzen 7 8845HS delivers smooth performance for everyday productivity tasks and moderate multitasking. Opening large numbers of browser tabs, running communication apps, and switching between tools feels natural. It doesn't feel sluggish even when you have a handful of heavier tasks running alongside. The 32GB of RAM is helpful here. It lets apps stay resident without constant swapping, and that translates to a fluid feel in workflows that keep many things open at once. For typical office work, web apps, local development, or video streaming, you have room to breathe. Storage performance from the 1TB SSD is solid. Booting into the OS is quick, apps launch without notable lag, and larger files load promptly. If you store lots of large video files or huge local datasets, you might fill 1TB over time, but for many users that capacity is practical without immediate external storage. Display support deserves a specific mention. With HDMI and DisplayPort outputs plus USB4 capable of supporting high resolutions, I tested 4K monitors at 60 Hz without issue. The unit drove dual monitor setup smoothly, and color consistency was as expected for everyday creative and productivity work. For 8K output at 60 Hz, the hardware is capable. That's a nice flexibility point if you have a higher resolution display, though I didn't find it essential in everyday use. Connectivity covers most bases you'll need. The 2.5G Ethernet port gives reliable wired networking without adapters, and I didn't experience bottlenecks when transferring large files across local networks. USB-A and USB-C ports handled external storage, input devices, and displays without fuss. The Oculink port is notable. It can support external expansion like eCPU enclosures or high-speed devices, which is rare on mini PCs and useful if you want adaptability. Thermals and noise are generally controlled. Under typical productivity loads, this unit remains quiet and unobtrusive. Push it harder with sustained workloads like multi-threaded local builds or batch processing, and you'll notice fans become audible, not noisy in a harsh way, but present. That's the realistic trade-off with compact systems. Smaller enclosures leave less room for huge heatsinks, so airflow and acoustics are balanced rather than optimized for silence under heavy load. Now limitations. This isn't designed as a gaming desktop or a workstation that replaces a full-size tower with discrete GPUs. If gaming or GPU-accelerated creative work is your priority, a system with a dedicated graphics card will outperform this by a significant margin. Integrated graphics on the Ryzen 7 are fine for casual titles and 1080p video playback, but don't push demanding games expecting high frame rates. Internal upgradability is modest. RAM and the SSD are user accessible, but you're not looking at frequent component swaps like you would in a full desktop. That's not a flaw, it's part of this form factor's design intent, but it means you should choose your configuration wisely up front. So who does this make sense for? Users who want a compact, capable desktop for productivity. Professionals who value desk space and a clean setup. Developers and generalists who need solid responsiveness. People who use multiple displays without discrete graphics. Who it isn't ideal for: gamers seeking high frame rates and graphical headroom. Power users who need extensive internal expansion. Those who need whisper quiet operation under heavy continuous load. In practical terms, the MINISFORUM UM880 Plus delivers a balanced, predictable performance profile. It doesn't chase exaggerated claims, and it settles into its role as a compact all-around system that handles daily use with confidence. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.